Hey everyone, it's Alice here from Top Mark Science, and today we're going to be looking at the menstrual cycle. Throughout this video, we will be exploring the key stages of the menstrual cycle, the changes that happen throughout the cycle, and how we can utilise the menstrual cycle to reduce or increase the chance of a successful pregnancy. Let's get started. As we covered in our previous video, millions of sperm are released during ejaculation. Many die along the way, resulting in a single successful sperm cell, which burrows into the egg cell and their nuclei fuse, which results in a fertilized egg cell, a zygote. Very early on, cell division occurs, resulting in an embryo, and later on a fetus, an unborn baby. Now just rewinding a few steps, back to the egg that has been released from the ovaries. What if it got here and waited, and sperm never arrived? The egg is no longer needed, and so it can be removed from the body. This is part of the menstrual cycle, a monthly series of changes that the body goes through to prepare the body for pregnancy. The uterus itself goes through changes and adapting and back to the beginning again, and it doesn't matter where you start. It's a cycle. You end up back to where you started. Now let's start at a place I would consider to be the beginning, an egg maturing in the ovary. This stage is called the follicular phase and is the longest stage of the menstrual cycle. During this phase, estrogen is released, which causes the soft lining of the uterus to build and an egg to be released, a stage called ovulation. The egg is then swept along the oviduct by cilia, tiny hairs on the end of cells in the tube that help to move the egg along the duct towards the uterus. Once the egg approaches, it may meet sperm, and the lining of the uterus continues to build, allowing for successful implantation of the zygote and development of a fetus. If the egg does not come across any sperm, the thickened uterus lining is shed to become thinner, as it is no longer needed for implantation of a zygote, and so it's discarded by shedding out through the vagina, in a phase called menstruation, otherwise known as a period. This cycle, with these key phases together, lasts on average around 1 month. However, this varies greatly between individuals for a variety of reasons. Pause the video here to list the diagrams in order of their occurrence, starting with the diagram A. If you finish, try the challenge. Let's go through some answers. Get ready to mark and annotate your work. So firstly, A shows an egg maturing in the ovary. So this should lead into diagram C, which shows the egg released and moving down the oviduct with a slight thickening of the uterus lining. Then, this lining continues to build in anticipation of embedding a fertilized egg, shown in diagram D. However, when this is not met, this lining is shed, shown in diagram B. So the order of pictures goes A, C, D, B. If you had a go at the challenge, well done. We can look at what changes are happening in the diagrams to determine the key roles of estrogen in the menstrual cycle. We already know that it's produced in the ovaries, which allows the uterus lining to thicken, role 1. And you can also see in the diagrams that only allows one egg to mature. So estrogen works with other hormones to allow this. Along with triggering the release of another hormone that starts ovulation, estrogen does not cause ovulation directly, it acts like a messenger to get it started. Now pause the video here for another activity. Match the statements underneath to the correct picture. Let's see what we came up with then. So A shows an egg maturing in the ovary, C is ovulation, D is the uterus wall thickening, and B is menstruation, the breakdown of the uterus lining. Now let's remove the pictures. Pause the video here and try to put these statements into order. Use the statement at the top, number 1, to start. If you finish, try the challenge. Let's see how we did. Answers coming up. So first of all, the egg is swept along the oviduct towards the uterus. It may get fertilised. The uterus wall then thickens to get ready for implantation. If the egg is not fertilised, the lining of the uterus breaks down and passes through the vagina. A new cycle then begins by an egg maturing in the ovary, and we end up back where we started, ovulation. Now we can use medical treatments to our advantage to either prevent or increase the chance of pregnancy. Birth control is a method to reduce the chance of pregnancy, and this may be physically, such as condoms, to stop sperm meeting the egg, or adjust hormones in the body to maybe stop ovulation so an egg isn't matured or released, or to stop the lining of the uterus thickening so implantation cannot happen, or to thicken mucus in the uterus, which makes it harder for the sperm to reach the egg and thus stop fertilization and pregnancy from happening. On the flip side, fertility treatments can increase the chance of people successfully falling pregnant if they would like to have a baby. Hormones can be used to start the maturation of not just one, not just two, but more eggs in the ovaries. These eggs can be extracted and placed in special labs for fertilization outside of the uterus in special sterile environments. With time, like in the uterus, these zygotes would develop into early embryos, and a couple of these will be inserted back into the uterus and embedded into the lining for hopeful continued development. One may survive, resulting in one fetus, but there is a chance that both survive, resulting in a greater chance of twins growing, non-identical though. Nice work, guys. Time for our end of video quiz. Question 1. What is the cycle of changes a body goes through to prepare it for pregnancy? The menstrual cycle. Question 2. After an egg has matured in the ovary, what is the release of this egg called? Ovulation. Question 3. As the egg moves towards the uterus, it is pushed along by cilia. These are the hair-like structures on the ends of some cells. Question 4. True or false? If an egg is not fertilized, this will cause the thickened uterus lining to break down and exit via the vagina. This is true. And finally, question 5. The aim of birth control is to reduce the chance of something, the combination of sperm and egg cell nuclei. Fertilization. Well done, everyone. Pause the video here to rate your progress of your knowledge on the menstrual cycle since the beginning of this video. It might help you plan for some revision later. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more from Top Mark Science, you can like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time.